Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Griff from the Hookup Tackle. I'm here being filmed by Jeff, aka Jeffrey the King. I just wanted to sit here and talk to you guys a little bit to follow up on my last spoon video. Me and Jeff, we went out the other day and we went out, threw some spoons around, just see what was going on at the lake. And I want to talk to you a little bit more deeper about the gear that we were using, and then I'll show you some videos of some fish catches here after I'm done. All right, so let's get started.
Welcome to the Hookup Tackle. The Hookup Tackle is the world's largest showcase of Megabass products, featuring baits and colors not found at any other dealer. The Hookup also offers a wide display of OSP, Evergreen, Deps, Lucky Craft, Jackal, and many more. The Hookup Tackle is owned and operated by family, is staffed by guides and verified tackle nerds who love helping anglers elevate their craft. If you're in the Phoenix area, we'd love to have you stop by our showroom and check out the wonderful world of Megabass and the Hookup for yourself. If you shop online, there are almost 10,000 SKUs of Megabass products alone, with hundreds of other companies and new products being added daily. So next time you're looking for that hard to find bait, that color your fish have never seen before, or maybe you just want to elevate your game, look at thehookuptackle.com.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? So one of my favorite spoons that I've been throwing a lot this year has been the Gurkha Knife. I've been really concentrating on using the smaller one. This one is in the 2-ounce class. It's about 165 millimeters. It's a good spoon that if you need a lot of thump, if you need some motion and a lot of swing, this spoon is gonna give it all to you right here. We rig it pretty simple. I'm just putting on one of these dancing stinger hooks from Owner right here. I'm just attaching it to the bottom right there, and then that's all the hooks that I'm putting on there. I'm not putting another stinger on the top. I'm just leaving it as is. It comes with a swivel already. And with this spoon, we're gonna do some like short casting and then vertical dropping. We're not doing any major long casting. We don't have a lot of ledge stuff out here where we're at. So we're just gonna cast into schools that we can find or where they should be. And then we're gonna cast them and then we're gonna work them off the bottom. We're gonna let them hit bottom. Sometimes they take a long time to get down there because they're moving, and they'll travel 10 to 15 feet either way with the flutter. They're gonna run, they're gonna flutter, they're gonna spin, they're just gonna do their own thing. All right. Once it hits the bottom, we're just gonna lift it, and then we're gonna let the line get taut on the rod, and then we're just gonna guide it back down to the bottom. All right. They come in multiple colors. You can get them in silver, you can get them in gold, you can get them in that sexy shad color. There's other colors that we carry. So if you're trying to get a new spoon and you haven't tried this one yet, this is a great choice. So check them out.
So with that thing, when I first picked it up yesterday when we went fishing, I think the very first thing you said to me, like, hey, when you let it fall, it's gonna feel like you're getting bit.
Yeah.
And that's just the spoon going side to side.
Yeah.
And it's such a crazy thump and like flutter to it. Like, I honestly didn't expect it. There was definitely a lot of times throughout the entire day I was like, oh dude, I just got bit. Oh no, that was just the spoon falling.
Yeah, it definitely takes some getting used to, right? Because it's gonna fall and it's gonna feel like it's falling straight down, and then all of a sudden your line's just gonna be like boom, boom.
And I'm like, oh dude,
yeah,
it's just the spoon.
Yeah, because it'll
such a hard thump.
Yeah, it'll go down and then it'll turn, and once it turns, it's and then you'll get those rapid right, and then it just flutters. But you know when you're bit.
Yeah, no, it's a big difference when you actually get bit.
Yeah.
But for the first hour that we didn't get bit, I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
At every drop I was getting smashed.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what's fun about this spoon.
Yeah.
Is because there's a lot of play in it. You're never just bored watching, like, letting the spoon drop.
Yep.
There's so much going on the end of that line and just trying to figure out, like, what's that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's cool with that size of spoon, you can feel it like bounce in and out of trees. There was a lot of times when we were fishing some of the spots, you're like, oh, I'm in a tree, and you could see it like hit a tree and then go back down and hit a tree, and like it was crazy to see that.
Yeah.
And I think the Gurkha, since you are only rigging with that one hook, it comes through cover a lot better than a lot of people think.
Oh yeah. So these hooks right here are gonna be like lifesavers out on the water, right?
Yeah.
So they're pretty much just circle hooks, and they don't really get caught often.
No.
And when they do, you can kind of just shake them out of whatever you're on. If you're on a rock, you can use the weight of the spoon to get off the rock. If you're in a tree, just shake it around. It'll come off those branches really easy.
It came off way more than I thought. When you were showing me, like, here, watch. You dropped it in a tree, you hung it, and then you, like, shook it off. And it came out way easier. I'm like, oh, that's, like, way better than I thought. Than using, obviously, like a treble hook where it'd probably just lose a lot more.
Yeah, treble hooks have this tendency to just grab onto everything and never let go, right?
Yep.
So yeah, these things are great, and then they keep fish pinned. You don't have to have a hook set on there. It's a circle hook. They're gonna hook themselves. Yeah. And then you're just gonna reel them in.
Well, I think what they're about to see is your first fish. So I know people are gonna look at the Gurkha like, wow, it's a long spoon, and you only have those tiny little hooks on there. How is the fish gonna get hooked? Well, I think your first fish yesterday was a tiny little white bass that ate it. Yeah. Like the Gurkha was like the size of the white bass, and it still got hooked. Yeah. So it's however they get it, you know. Yeah. So
I've never seen like underwater spoon eats. Yeah. But in your head you think it's crazy because it's a big chunk of metal. Right. But I mean they eat it. Sometimes it's all the way in their throats. And you're just like, all right. Cool. Just roll with it. It works. I don't want to question the science about it. Yep. It's going down. So, yeah. It's definitely a good time. It's super interactive, and it catches fish. Oh, That's the best part about it. Yep. So the next spoons that we were using are going to be from the Drag Metal Cast series from Duo. So we have so many different options in this right here. So here we have a slow. The slow comes with 3 stinger hooks on it. And this one's going to be a shorter, smaller profile, a little bit fatter, so it's going to fall a little bit slower because it's just going to get a lot more resistance in the water. And this one here, we were using in both ways also. We were casting it, let it sink to the bottom, rip it through. There's so many different ways you can use it. It's meant to be cast and ran through like the saltwater, like surf fishing, jetty fishing and stuff like that. Yeah. So we just took it, we threw it in some fresh water, used it like a jigging spoon like we know how, and the fish love it. This profile right here, if they're chasing small bait, this is gonna be the one that you wanna use right here, the Drag Metal Cast Slow. All right, and then we have the Drag Metal Cast Slim, which is gonna be your skinnier, longer profile right here. It has 1 stinger hook on the front and a treble hook. So I normally just take this treble hook off because right now we're just fishing in a lot of trees. And just like we talked about with the trees and the treble hooks, they just don't get along very well. So I usually just take this one off, and this hook right here is going to be plenty to catch fish and keep them pinned. 9 out of 10 times anyway, if I leave the treble hook on, I'm catching them on this front hook. And then we just have the standard Drag Metal Cast, which is set up the same way as the Slim, except for the shape is just going to be a little bit shorter. It's going to be a little bit fatter. It's going to be the same thing, and you use them all the same exact way. All right. And then we have the shot. All right. The shot's going to be a little bit different. It's going to have these flat sides on it. So when you cast it and you rip it through, it's going to have a little bit different of an action. And it also has this blade on the back to give you a little bit extra shine. So all these come in a 30, a 20, and a 15 gram. Find the one that works the best for you. Obviously, if they're chasing super fast bait, you want to go heavier. And if you're going deeper, you want to go heavier. If they're chasing the slower stuff, go with the lighter stuff. It'll all make sense once you get some of these in your tackle box and you start using them. As far as the rods we were using, so this time I switched it up a little bit, and on my smaller stuff I was using the P5 Killer Code.
All right, you really like that rod, dude.
Dude, I love this rod. It's 6'6", so normally when you're spoon fishing, you're using these giant rods, right? Yep. And, running a spoon all day, it'll wear you out. And this one, I do everything with my hands. I don't have to tuck it and rip the spoon. Everything's with my hands. And especially this time of year, I'm not using rapid, like, jerking movements with the spoon. This rod is pretty sick. It has, your standard swim bait action to it. It's pretty parabolic. It'll bend so you're not ripping the spoon up 800 feet every time you pop it up. It's gonna give you a little bit of bend, and then when you hook that fish, it'll give you enough play to fight that fish all the way to the boat. Because remember, it's still a big chunk of metal that's in their mouth. Yep. And a lot of times it's pretty heavy, so you don't want to let them get the advantage on you, right? So you get the gear that works the best. So this is one of my favorites. It also works really amazing with that Gurkha knife.
Yeah, you were telling me.
Yeah, on a vertical drop, the Gurkha knife and the killer code is amazing. All right. And for the Gurkha knife, we were using the what I call the ND 180 rod. It's now called the Wakebait from Evergreen Combat Stick. It's the 7/8 extra heavy. It's gonna have that same. It's gonna have that same action on there. It's gonna bend a lot. This is a swim bait, wake bait rod. It's rated up to 4 ounces. It's a 7/8, so it's still not super giant, and it's strong though. It has a good backbone on there. It lets you play the fish. It'll bend for you the way that you want it to. You've probably heard me mention it on this channel like a billion times about this rod. This is my favorite rod. I use this rod for everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the rating is pretty true because I throw the half-ounce stuff on there. I throw a gong on here all the time.
Yep.
Buzz baits, big spoons, little spoons, everything. So if you're into a bigger rod, a lot of people don't like the killer code because it's so small. But if you're into a bigger rod, this is also a good choice. You get to watch Jeff over there handle a big striper with this rod, and it looked like it did pretty well.
Oh, dude, it did great. Loaded on that fish so well.
Yeah, dude, I love this thing. And at the price point,
You can't
really beat it. Yeah. It's amazing. So take a minute, enjoy a couple fish catches, and then we'll be right back to you after that.
Got him. On the Gurkha. Drag metal cast slow and hooked him good.
Good one?
Yeah, striker. Woo-hoo. Let me get the oh. Please don't throw it. Holy shit, Griff. Fucking kidding me? Alright. Took all day, but Gurkha Knife Junior? Is that what it's called?
Sure.
The
I call it the
small-
baby knife.
The baby Gurkha Knife. Nice striper. I'm tired. Worked exactly where it should have been. Just came off actually. Boom.
He just knows how to find.
Got him?
Yep.
Fuck yeah. Keep him off.
Oh, I thought it was a big one too.
Dude, careful. He's running at you?
Yeah.
He's running at you. Oh shit.
Oh, God.
Oh. You fucking bastard. You bastard. I thought.
Cast metal drag,
Drag
slow.
metal cast.
Drag metal cast, slow. White bass.
Oh, that's a fish. Oh my god.
It's like I lost connection to my fucking.
You got it?
Yeah.
That's funny.
A little better.
There you go.
Oh God.
What happened?
Got him.
No fucking way.
Good one.
What?
Good one. Largemouth.
You made a cast.
Yeah. And then all the fucking bait shattered. It's not a good. It's not a good. That's a big ass white bass.
It's a good one. Actually.
Yep. Right in that shad ball, dude.
On the fall. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
That's actually a really nice.
All right, guys, I hope you really enjoyed that. We had a good day. It was good fishing out there. The weather was still warm for us. We caught some fish, put a big striper on the boat, which was pretty cool. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with us. On behalf of everybody here at the Hookup, thank you so much. All right, guys, have a great day.